Luka Doncic's knee collision was the kind of midsummer scare that spikes heart rates for anyone who follows the Lakers, and it's understandable why. The short version. He took an awkward hit to the right knee during a Slovenia-Latvia exhibition, left the game, returned to the bench, iced up, and was later diagnosed with a knee contusion. The encouraging part is that reports say it's not believed to be serious. The reality, though, is that even a minor knee issue in August opens a set of meaningful questions for Dončić, Slovenia, and the Lakers as they move toward a loaded 2025-26 calendar. First, let's put the injury in context. A contusion, essentially a deep bruise to the soft tissues around the knee, is not the same thing as a ligament sprain tear, meniscal damage, or a structural problem that requires surgery. Contusions often heal with rest, ice, and a graduated return to activity. But how a contusion behaves depends on the impact location, any associated swelling, and how aggressively the player pushes through pain. For an elite athlete who depends on cutting, sudden direction changes, and burst acceleration, any knee soreness is non-trivial even if imaging looks clean. Why this is stressful for the Lakers? Dončić is the franchise centerpiece, and their $165 million investment is as much a precautionary financial factor as it is competitive. The Lakers' offseason construction, contracts, cap planning, and long-term roster decisions was made with the expectation that Dončić would be healthy and available. A late summer injury, even a minor one, forces the organization to balance two competing priorities. One, letting him meet his competitive commitments with Slovenia and maintain rhythm before the NBA season. And two, protecting him from any avoidable risk that could jeopardize training camp and early regular season availability. Doncic's own eagerness to return, reportedly wanting to get back into the game, is both a strength and a risk. Elite competitors routinely push to play, but national team staff and the Lakers' medical team need to be aligned. Ideally, the decision tree should hinge on objective markers. MRI findings, already reportedly done, ligament integrity, range of motion, ability to do sport-specific loading without pain, and controlled progression in practice drills. If MRI shows only a contusion, a short period of rest, followed by physiotherapy and a cautious minutes plan in Slovenia makes sense. If there's any equivocal sign on imaging or persistent swelling, the conservative approach wins. Pull him from exhibition play, let the knee calm, and allow a structured ramp-up for the NBA season. Doncic's off-season body transformation, he's reportedly lost significant weight and improved conditioning, matters here too. Better conditioning generally reduces injury risk over a season by improving joint stability, endurance, and recovery. But rapid changes in body mass or training intensity can alter biomechanics briefly, which sometimes reveals or exacerbates niggling issues that were previously dormant. The medical and performance staff should monitor his gait, jump mechanics, and load tolerance as he returns to full activity. From Slovenia's perspective, Dončić is obviously their keystone player, and they want him on the floor for Eurobasket. For the national team, his presence changes matchup dynamics and medal expectations. Yet national federations routinely face the trade-off between wanting their star to play and accepting that a player primed for an NBA season needs preservation. Expect Slovenia's medical staff to coordinate with Lakers docs. In recent years, that kind of cross-communication has become standard when NBA stars play internationally. What are the practical implications for the Lakers and for fans to watch over the next 14 days? Track official updates on imaging and the functional report, not just day-to-day language, but specifics about whether imaging confirmed an isolated contusion and the expected timeline for return to practice. Monitor Doncic's minutes with Slovenia. A cautious, limited role in exhibition games and a gradual ramp in Eurobasket minutes would be sensible. If Slovenia plays him full minutes immediately, the Lakers should be more insistent on workload limits. Watch for any changes to Lakers training camp plans. If Dončić arrives to LA still sore or with a maintenance protocol, expect conservative management early in camp, controlled scrimmages, monitored scrimmage minutes, and progressive on-court load. Pay attention to communication between NBA and national team medical staff. Clear shared protocols reduce friction and the risk of rushed returns. Consider recovery and workload tools. Cryotherapy, anti-inflammatory management within team policies, targeted physio, and explosive movement retraining before return to competition. In terms of long-term risk, a single contusion that heals cleanly and is managed conservatively should carry minimal season-long consequence. The bigger risk is if Dončić rushes back, plays heavy minutes overseas, then arrives to Lakers camp with lingering inflammation or altered mechanics, scenarios that can promote compensatory injuries elsewhere: hip, ankle, contralateral, knee. Short-term caution now can prevent chronic headaches later. Finally, there's the intangible side, the psychological and PR spin. Fans panic over injury scares, media coverage amplifies worst-case scenarios, and that can create pressure on players and staffs to either hush up or over-explain. The straightest path is transparency about the objective findings, a clear rehab plan, and visible evidence of a cautious ramp-up. That calms external anxiety and more importantly, allows Dončić to focus on recovery without external noise. Bottom line, this was a scare. It's understandable and worth close attention, but the early indicators are optimistic. If medical imaging is clean and the team applies a sensible, coordinated load management plan, Dončić can safely participate in Eurobasket to whatever degree Slovenia and the Lakers agree upon, and still arrive to NBA training camp ready to go. The next week of updates matters far more than a single exhibition moment, so watch for concrete medical details and for how the minutes are handled overseas. The scare from Luka Dončić's knee collision looked worse in real time than it actually turned out to be, but it was the kind of moment that immediately grabs attention because of what Dončić means to Slovenia, the Eurobasket tournament, and, crucially, the Los Angeles Lakers off-season plans. A planted knee, a teammate falling into him, and a walk to the locker room is always a red flag with elite players. The good news is the early diagnosis of a knee contusion suggests this was a blunt impact rather than structural damage to ligaments or cartilage. From a medical and practical standpoint, a contusion can range from a day or two of soreness and icing to a week plus of limited activity if swelling and pain linger. Slovenia's staff made the conservative call. Dončić wanted to return but was held out, which is the exact correct approach for an elite athlete 2 months before a major international tournament and a season in which the Lakers plan to lean heavily on him. Overexposure in an exhibition game would be a needless risk. The immediate priority will be standard conservative measures: rest, ice, compression and elevation, anti-inflammatory management as needed, and careful monitoring of swelling and range of motion. If symptoms resolve quickly, a graded return to shooting, cutting, and later full contact practice is likely within a short window. If not, imaging, MRI, would be the next step to rule out occult structural issues. For the Lakers, the timing is less alarming than the sight of him leaving the court might have suggested. Dončić's long-term durability is far more impactful than a single contusion. And because this occurred in late August, well before the NBA regular season, there's ample time for rest and a phased ramp-up. Still, the organization will watch closely. They've already invested heavily in Luka and structured their roster and rotation assumptions around his availability and unique play style. Even small setbacks change preseason conditioning and chemistry building plans. The Lakers will likely alter on-court minutes in the coming weeks, manage any additional summer workload, and make sure he's fully cleared before resuming high-intensity team activities. For Slovenia, the message is cautious optimism. Eurobasket begins October 27, so the national staff must balance short-term recovery against the need for him to get reps in the lead-up. With other stars in the field, Slovenia will hope Dončić is fully available, but they should have contingency plans for limited minutes early in the tournament if necessary. From a basketball perspective, the most immediate takeaway is that the worst-case scenario was avoided. No ligament or meniscal alarm was sounded publicly, but prudence now matters more than headlines. The next 48 to 72 hours are telling. How much swelling, how he moves in controlled workouts, and whether Slovenia's medical team allows progressive activity will determine whether this is a brief bump or something that requires extended caution. For fans and the Lakers front office, breathe a little easier, but keep watching.